Nick Cannon. Yes.
Uh,
So Viacom, we're gonna tread lightly on this one a little bit, but
okay.
not really. Hell, listen, whatever. We're gonna say what we need to say about it. Nick Cannon,
Yeah.
who lost all of his Viacom connections, including Wild 'N Out, which he had been on for almost 2 decades, 20 years, $500 million franchise that even had a restaurant at some point, Wild 'N Out, due to his interview with Professor Griff. I think that was like a couple of weeks ago, that somehow came back forward this week in this interview that was on YouTube. It has now been taken down from YouTube. I think he took it down. He has apologized. And Fox, where The Masked Singer is, where our own Jenny McCarthy is on, and he is the host of, Fox said that they will not be firing him. They said in a statement that they believe this moment calls for dialogue, and they will help him advance what it called an important conversation. They said, when we were made aware of Nick Cannon's interview with Richard Griffin on YouTube, we immediately began a dialogue with Nick. And instead of summarily firing this man who has demonstrated, I guess, being a good corporate partner with a lot of these entities, brought in a lot of money and ratings for them, they're going to play ball with him. They're going to see him through this moment, which he has apologized for. Thoughts and prayers, Lamont.
Definitely thoughts and prayers. What's weird is how I see so many people pulling away from Nick. So many of people that look like him are really just throwing him under the bus. Where a day ago they were, I stand with Nick Cannon. Whether you believe
Dwayne Wade on Break Baby? Dwayne Wade, who had a break baby on Break? That one?
His baby has nothing to do with this.
It has nothing. I'm just petty. I'm just petty.
He was one of them. But I just feel like if this is a teachable moment, then it's a teachable moment for everybody. I don't think one group, whether they feel offended or not, should be able to strike fear in everybody else based on what someone has either researched or holds an opinion on. I think if it's truly a time for discussion and dialogue, then bring that dialogue and that discussion to the forefront. His statement, Nick Cannon's statement yesterday, in my opinion, did not match his apology. And what I mean by that is they seem like they were written by two different people. Now, granted, he may have had some conversations that we weren't privy to, but I do believe, not in his defense, but I believe they owe him an apology as well, just like he asked for it. Whenever we hear anti-black rhetoric, there's never an apology demanded. There's never an apology tour.
That's not true.
Rarely.
Really? All right, but I'm going to say that
you don't get walked through the National Museum of African American History and sat down for a lecture. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, Trump did. Trump did actually get walked through. Yes, he did. Go back to Charlotte. Yes, he did. He walked through. Okay. Yes, he did. But I want to focus on what you're saying about either we're here to heal. And I think all of this is an incredible distraction. Either we're here to have a dialogue because we're in not just a viral pandemic, but a racial pandemic. And I do think that these are teachable moments. And I do think that is an opportunity for people to understand why this is hurtful. And if you're black and you don't want people to say things about black people, and you're offended by a lot of things that people say, and then they don't listen to you, you have to be open to the reality that other people are offended by what Nick Cannon and Professor Griff talked about, and we can't just dismiss it because we like Nick Cannon. And we've talked about this as it relates to Snoop and Gayle and a host of other things. Two things can be true. Right. And you can give up the right to be right, if you want to have a conversation. But I'm always asking this question. What's the benefit? What do we gain by having that particular conversation in this particular time? I don't know what the gain is. So I don't know why we need to have that. I don't know why he needed to do that interview.
Well, in some regard, they were in a discussion that was enlightening to the two of them. And that's fair. But that's fair, though. So to counter your position, why not have that discussion? If we're in a period of vast enlightenment where a lot of people are so-called, quote-unquote, waking up and, getting new types of knowledge, why not have that conversation? I think here's the solve. Here's the solve. Here's the solve. Regardless of what I agree with, regardless of what they said was right or wrong, I think they should have had a third person in the room. And that third person would have been somebody of Semitic heritage to kind of float, bounce off, counter, whatever.
Have a real conversation about it. Right.
Yeah,
But it was an hour and a half. It was one of those, it was a barbershop conversation, I feel. Like an hour and a half long conversation that went on, and then you just feel comfortable and you start saying things. And I'm going to say there wasn't a whole lot of scholarship in the room. I'm going to say that too. And I was going to say that there are these tropes that, we've been, having conversations about Aunt Jemima and the statues and things like that have led to the decimation of people. Right? Words are powerful. Words are so powerful. Categorizations of people, so powerful. And, I feel what you're saying. There are spaces where you don't cancel somebody for saying something that you feel is wrong. You have a conversation with them and you tell them why, with facts and data. 866-801-8255. But I just want to juxtapose Viacom against Fox and how, these two behemoths have handled Nick Cannon.
But let me ask you this, because you just said something I wanted to get some clarity on it. You said there was no scholarship in the room. Why do you say that?
All right. I'm just gonna just say it. I think here's how I feel. Here's how. Yeah. Well, you could read. I have a friend that reads only Christian fiction. She reads maybe a book a week. She's well read. Okay. She can read her ass off, but she's only reading one thing. That's all she reads. Is she well read? Can she sit in a room and pontificate about these different things? You can read, but without scholarship, I'm talking about study, back and forth, like dissecting, like you're saying, having somebody in the room to have this conversation. We're going to be talking about money today. You and I can talk about money. We have money, but why not get people on that are experts? I have, this show, we have all different kinds of people on because I don't know everything. I don't know a whole lot of things. So it's, to me, even if you're well read doesn't mean that you are equipped to have that conversation and have it in a way that is powerful. You said it was enlightening. I didn't think it was enlightening. I don't think anything that was
enlightening to the two of them. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was like, I heard this before a lot of times from many different places. So, I wasn't, was nothing new that was introduced. And that's what I'm saying. There was no moment that I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe, that this thing was said. I never heard that before. Do you know what I'm saying? So, again, it's like I just discovered America. It's like Columbus. Oh, I just discovered something. And the natives are saying, how? What are you talking about? Anyway, 866-80, maybe that's a bad analogy. But I'm saying that, it's a very bad analogy. But I'm saying that the scholarship isn't there because that requires study that I don't think either one of them. And no disrespect, maybe I shouldn't even say that because then it's like focus on me saying that there's no scholarship. As opposed to
that's why I just wanted clarity.
Stop focusing on the wrong things.
Mean that. Yeah.
No, I don't. Thank you, Lamont. But, people will major in the minors because anything that makes your itchy little ears feel good, you're going to hone in on to discredit anything that we're talking about, which is if it's not beneficial, we shouldn't be doing it right now. We got a couple of things that we need to focus on. That's November. Right. Okay, we need to focus hard on making sure we have legislators and a president that will get us through this COVID-19, which is not going away in 2021. There's a bubonic plague outbreak somewhere with a squirrel that could be coming right behind that. We have a school system that is going to really take a hit on the chin, an economic system that while the stock market is saying one thing, people's lives are saying something different. And we need leadership in this country. We need to focus on that. So I just think it's a distraction.
And it could be a distraction. And I think a lot of times celebrities don't realize, or people that put out that type of content don't realize you could fall victim to a slow news day at any given time. So you never know. When it's something,
ask yourself.
Nothing else to talk about, they're talking about you.
Come on now.